Let's talk about your take on the global economy, because if we look at the big macro indicators at the moment, things are slowing down. Are you seeing the same thing in advertising? And if so, at what sort of rate? How serious is this?
Well, we're seeing, we have a global forecasting division called Magna Global, and they have very slightly reduced the global ad spending from 5 to 4.8%. We're seeing our competitors doing the same, so we're seeing a reduction, but no wholesale turn-off of the advertising tap.
Does that equate with what you see to the global economy, though? That's the sort of state of the global economy. It's coming off a little bit, but not much.
I think that's exactly right, but I think it also depends on which regions of the world you're looking at. I mean, China's still, having come down, is still exceptionally strong. Latin America, especially driven by Brazil. And then everyone talks about Europe in one breath.
Yes.
That's a harder one to say in one breath, because obviously you've got the UK that's got the benefit of the Queen's Jubilee and the Olympics.
But the UK
Germany's
is also
strong.
in the double-dip recession, but you're not seeing that in advertising?
No, we're not seeing that. We're still seeing some moderate growth, and in Germany we're seeing even better growth. Where we're seeing decline, though, is Spain and Italy and some of the southern European countries.
Does this sort of resilience surprise you? Because, or has the game changed in the fact that companies are now much more likely to keep their ad spend up even when things get a little bit soft?
I think we saw in 2008, where we saw such a dramatic fall-off in the economic confidence, we saw the taps turn completely off for a while. And I think ultimately that caused a lot of the big global brands we represent some significant pain in terms of catching back up with own label and some of the more powerful retailers who were much more supportive of their own brands. I think what we're seeing now, though, is more pressure from the global marketeers to say internet is now 20% of global ad spending. Many, many more choices. How are we using the new media, the new technologies, for greater effectiveness, greater personal messaging, greater creativity, but ultimately, how do we get more for the same budgets that we're spending?
And what sort of growth are you seeing in social media, online advertising?
Well, if you look at online and the whole sort of internet category, we're still looking at 15% year-on-year growth. It's now 20% of total spending. Television is still number one, however, on a global basis.
But it's not growing at 15%,
no,
I suspect.
Absolutely not. But no, nothing's growing as fast as the internet and the online, and we're only going to see that increase. I think, to a certain extent, Facebook and social media is a very hot topic for marketers at the moment, whether it be in terms of advertising or CRM or research. So again, these aren't... they're displacing some of the traditional media, but the pie isn't getting any bigger.
Just tell me about the effectiveness of online advertising now. Is it hitting the mark, or is it still in a sort of experimental stage and people are still judging its value?
I think it depends on the individual media, you know, the individual technologies. I mean, the use for mobile advertising is still in its infancy. Mobile messaging and promotional activity is very, very strong. We're seeing the same thing with Facebook and social media. In terms of a proven advertising medium, it has a way to go. I have all the faith in the world that they're going to continue to develop that huge audience they have, and now obviously being one of the world's biggest databases of sentiment. So to a certain extent, as a marketing vehicle and a marketing platform, as a way to engage brands with consumers, it's massively powerful. But I think the rules have been rewritten. They're written. I mean, these are very, very early days.